Significant news today related to Bitcoin, Solana, and XRP in the United States, discussing why the token is experiencing volatility, plus updates on lower cap altcoins and more. I highly suggest watching today's entire video if you're involved in crypto. Starting with Bitcoin and the FOMC meeting today, breaking news reveals the Fed has kept interest rates at 4.5%, so there was no adjustment. Bitcoin surged in response to this announcement. Why did investors react positively? It's because that was what the market anticipated, a stable rate. While expectations for 2025 indicate 2 rate cuts this year, confidence levels seem low, and why might that be? It's due to the situation with Donald Trump versus Jerome Powell expressed uncertainty about the economy and whether more than 2 rate cuts will be necessary by year's end, and he also doesn't know how much inflation is attributable to tariffs. It will be quite challenging to accurately determine the extent of inflation driven by tariffs and other factors, which is already the case. Additionally, Bitcoin's rise is the result not only of Powell's decision to maintain rates, but also of his statements. Finally, there is an encouraging update regarding the Fed's balance sheet from the FOMC today, stating that starting in April, the committee will reduce the speed at which it decreases its securities holdings by lowering the monthly redemptions. Cap on Treasury securities is reduced from $25 billion to $5 billion, and what this means for you, this is the final phase before the Fed concludes quantitative tightening, which is part of the path to eventual quantitative easing and the limit on. The Fed balance sheet sales was $60 billion last May, then decreased to $25 billion, and soon will be reduced to only $5 billion. Monthly signs are indicating a positive outlook for quantitative tightening to finish around mid-year. Let's monitor the Bitcoin price, and as I receive more updates, I will keep you informed. Naturally significant XRP news: the SEC is discontinuing the Ripple lawsuit. So, Brad Garlinghouse released this statement. As many of you recognize, just over 4 years ago, the U.S. SEC initiated its lawsuit against Ripple. I'm finally able to share that this case has concluded. It's finished, certainly checking in on how this influenced the XRP price. And now we'll shift to the XRP chart, where we observe a rally exceeding 10%, with XRP currently priced at $2.50 per coin. Brad Garlinghouse discussed on Bloomberg what lies ahead. The SEC has decided to drop their appeal following the lawsuit they initiated in December 2020. We achieved significant victories in the summer of 2023, as Judge Torres ruled that XRP itself is not classified as a security, which is nearly a direct quote. The SEC filed an appeal about 8 months ago, but they have now agreed to withdraw it. We still have a cross-appeal outstanding, meaning we transition from being defendants to plaintiffs, placing us in a position to dictate our next steps. To continue, are you letting it go? We're going to see. We feel much better being on the attack rather than the defense. For 4 years, we spent more than $150 million defending that case, not only for Ripple, but for the entire industry. I think the SEC under Gensler needed to be trying to intimidate and carry out lawfare with continuous lawsuits against crypto companies that are done now, and I believe that's positive for the U.S. crypto industry and honestly beneficial for crypto. Overall, some of you were inquiring about playing the breakout, and just 2 points to grasp. Number 1, XRP has been purchased from this demand zone numerous times in 2025, so we need to check if we can escape from this downward trend that we've been turned away from several times in 2025, just like we have been bounced up from this demand zone along this upward trend line multiple times in 2025. And there are 2 strategies to approach this. Firstly, if you're optimistic, you could establish your long position now at market open, then set your take profit and stop loss. Position your take profit just below this breakout zone. If a breakout occurs, avoid taking a complete 100% profit. Instead, withdraw your principal and perhaps take 20% off the table while continuing to see if you can ride the momentum. Alternatively, if you lean towards being a breakout trader, you can set a limit order, indicating you want to enter long when we hit around $2.7868 for XRP, adjusting the order price on your limit order to 78, and as a skilled trader, ensure you set your stop loss to prevent significant loss. Link below.